Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ampistrano, episode 3, The Darkened Door. We're so excited to get on in, but before we get started, we are going to go around real quick with some announcements. And don't worry, your favorite Monkin Fairy, Aurea, will be joining us later this episode. She's off right now getting some rest. In real life, she's in another game, but she'll be popping by shortly. Don't worry, I didn't kill her character. But anyways, we're going to jump on in with some announcements. The first one being 1985 games. Now, do you like story prompts, taking notes, and having other tabletop resources to level up your game? Check out 1985's games today. AmpistranoDND is proud to be affiliated with this fantastic company that uses unique assets for your tabletop games. Enter !AmpistranoDND to get a portion off your purchase. And also make sure to check out their newest Kickstarter from Hit Point Press, Humplewood Tales, because 1985 Games has done a collaboration with them for some GM journals. So if you want to have a unique way to get some cool things, but also support this amazing cast, go ahead and pop on over to 1985 Games. And with that, we're going to jump over to Pear Bear. So every time I call you, you're like...
Well, if you notice, I deliberately don't make eye contact with you and start to call on people, so you won't call on me first. Hi everyone, I'm Fair, and I'm here to tell you that if you are a fan of delicious tea blends, fandom-inspired drinks, and all things tea, then you should check out Friday Afternoon Tea. We are proud affiliates of the shop, and from Sailor Moon to D&D, Friday Afternoon Tea has it all, and you can enter code D&D Jordan Lee, all caps, for 10% off your purchase. Check it out. It is delicious. I have tried several blends, and I've not had a bad one yet, so definitely check it out.
Amazing. Thank you, Fair Bear. And next up is Babs.
Oh, hey, it's me. Hey, everybody. So, Idle Champions. We are affiliated with them. We have a super snazzy code right below Finn and Sin's windows for you to go get a Electrum chest, which has a bunch of gear that you definitely need to get through the levels. I'm at level like 174 on something, and I've been stuck on this level. But that Electrum chest is gonna help, for sure. I gotta beat that big boss. So, also, don't forget that the newest champion, Nahara from Black Dice Society, and her super adorable kitty cat familiar, Saja, are available. And I know that they were doing specialty Nahara chests, and you can use the special event tokens to also buy that chest instead of paying real money for those chests. So, you know, seems like a pretty good deal to me. Tune in on July 13th through 15th for the Black Pits, which is a 3-day streaming event starring B. Dave Walters, Aaron M. Evans, Jim Zub, Becca Scott, Adam Bradford, and Megan Kenrick. What a star-studded cast. Gosh. And storyteller Mark Muir. Okay. Heller. I don't know why I just said that. I haven't said that since like, high school. Heller. Gosh. All amazing people. And Mark is an amazing storyteller. I know that from experience. But anyways, twitch.tv/CNE Games, July 13th through 15th, which is next weekend, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm not going to miss it. And you'll probably get another Electrum chest. So you should tune in, because that sounds like a heckin' good time.
Heck yes. Thank you so much, Babs. Next up is Fit.
Oh, hi, hello. Dice Goblins and Gremlins and Dice I don't know, hamsters maybe. There's plenty of dice critters that you could be.
I want to be a dice hamster.
You could be a dice hamster. I mean, you know, cute.
Can Sebastian be our dice stoat?
Probably. I'm sure he can. I'm sure he would gather up dice. But you know what? Hamsters and stoats and vermin like that like to gather up little trinkets also love wood chips. They love sleeping under wood chips. You know why they love sleeping under wood chips? Because woodworkers do amazing things, and woodworkers make magic happen. And I imagine that the workshops of Talent and Claw are covered in little dice hamsters that just love to like curl up under their wood chips. You know, as the skilled artisans are doing their thing, you have all these little magical hamster, stoat, whatever rodent familiars that are huddling under these wood chips. And as they do, they are saying their bestest good boy and girl vibe, good boy, good girl, good NB, good little rodentia arcana. There we go. Into everything that Talon and Claw does. That's right. A completely not made up on this spot claim about the products of Talent and Claw that they are enchanted by rodents for you. And if you want to get some of the prettiest dice trays, dice vaults, and DM screens available, I expect you to go to Talon and Claw all day, every day. And when you do, you should avail yourself to a 10% off discount by screaming D&D Jordan Lee into the coupon code. Just all caps, scream D&D Jordan Lee right in there, and you'll get 10% off your rodent enchanted woodworking products for your tabletop games. Asterisk, Talent and Claw did not approve rodent enchantments in their products. Thanks, guys.
But also, have you ever opened a box that has fresh wood chips as the packaging? It smells so good. And it's environmental friendly.
Not wrong. We love that. Thank you, Finn. A couple quick notes before we dive into today's episode. A special reminder that you can enter !Simon and !Seffi. We are again boosting two incredible individuals in this community and in this space that are trying to take the next step into their lives and also transition. So any support is greatly appreciated. If you can't give at this time, also, retweeting the link for both GoFundMes goes a really long way. So wanted to boost that, as well as quick reminder that April Raygun, Duval King Jacob, Dibbles and Dice and I will be on a panel right after the game today for Gehenna Games Virtual Horror Con. So join us at 6:30 p.m. over on Gehenna Gaming's Twitch channel, as we're going to be discussing everything you need to know about charity streaming. Whether you're doing ttrpgs or video games, we'll be covering all that.
And speaking of charity games, Jordan has something to tell you about later, I assume.
Yes. We'll be popping up later. The other thing I wanted to signal boost to is you can enter !TTRP GIFs in the chat, because our amazing friend RoboGoblin is raising money to fund an all POC journey through the Radiant Citadel Enology show. In Robo's words, 13 adventures, 13 casts, all people of color, one connected story. We would love to support our amazing friend in this venture, because we are also a show that wants to, pay and support their cast. So please, go pop over to RoboGoblin's Ko-fi. Give if you can. If you can't give, then please signal boost that as well. Robo does an incredible job for the community and does so much, and I really would love to give back. The same is true for Dimples. Dimples just put up a Ko-fi as well, because his air conditioning broke and it's expensive to replace it, and it's hot here in North America right now. So if you want to pop on over to Dimples and Dice's Ko-fi as well to give, also very much appreciated. Couple other quick notes. Special thank you, even though Babs and I work for the company, so does Finn, to ChaoticTiefling Productions, because we have updated overlays for today. And I'm super excited for all the things. But on top of that, finally, I want to take a moment to say a huge thank you to Syrup of Waffles and Maple Syrup. She is an incredible storyteller on Outcast and Outclassed, along with Siren's Call, which is her newest show that airs on Friday nights. Both her and Waffles have an inclusive and safe space on the internet that is always a joy to hang out in. Please consider dropping a follow, sub, or Ko-fi. You can also enter !WMS for all of their info. Please hire them for graphics, audio consultations, bring them into your games. I see they're 11 followers away from 900 on Twitch, so let's go give them a Haven Wolf Pack little hug. But Syrup has done the character stats, which you will be seeing very shortly. They're incredible. I cried when I got them. So yeah, that is it. I believe Babs, you had a quick thing, and did anyone else have anything else they needed to boost for before we get into it? Okay, Babs.
Oh, hey, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Babs the Bat. And I am so excited to say that I'm gonna start streaming again. And I'm super excited about it. On Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, I am going to start a show called Brunch with Babs. And you should come join me. It's going to be a super chill time, some lo-fi music. The game that we're going to be playing this month of July is going to be Minecraft. I have just started my Minecraft journey, and I'm already obsessed, and I need y'all to come tell me how Minecraft works, because I don't want to have to ask my stepkids. Because then they're just going to think I'm trying to be cool. And it's also going to turn into the whole Babs Fails at Video Games, where String Bean tried to teach me how to play Overwatch. And that was an experience for all of us. So,
Need a backseat gaming approved stream. That's a good one.
Yes, please. Mm-hmm. Please tell me how to do all the things, how to keep the creepers out of my house, how to do all of that. And Utharian Legends is back tomorrow on the ttrpg channel. That'll be at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And both Finn and I will be over there doing that, running an underground dwarven city. And my character, who's actually a dragon, got allergic to a mushroom. So,
go check it out.
Go check it out.
Fun times. All right, y'all. I think we're ready. Vibe check real quick. You all ready? Perfect. And now, without further ado, let's go into the veil of Ampistrano.
So really, nipples is the point I'm trying to make.
Oh my
God. And in conclusion...
God dang it, Finn.
I really wasn't expecting.
Honestly, the most valid point I've ever heard anybody make about it.
And a quick note, our characters just leveled up to level 4, too. So, let's try it again. When last we left off, our adventurers found themselves coming to the rescue of civilians, as a rogue cart imbued with a large onyx gem attacked. When this gem was destroyed, a large blast went off, leaving only a few shards of the gem remaining. Aurea, our fairy monk friend, was caught up in the blast and became incredibly lethargic, losing color in her wings and her ability to fly. Tea and pleasantries were had at the tea leaves as two old friends reunited with Cal and Blackstone. Bothered by the rogue cart and Aurea's overall change in disposition, the group made their way northward, outside of the city, to a small mage school called Astera. Blackstone led the group to the headmaster, Deidre Wardington, an Earth Genasi, who was able to investigate these shards in greater detail. The stones had been slowly changing from black to gray to now an emerald. Even more alarming, there were several threads moving deep within the shards. The group concluded that the gem zapped Aurea's energy, But for what purpose? How do they get it back? Oria stayed in the wizard's tower resting, and in her dreams came face to face with the Lady of the Vale. In the meantime, the rest of the party ventured back into the city and promised a deal to Greenwich as a bargain for a pearl. And in the early evening, that is where our story picks up. The sky is now a dark shade of purple, red, and pinks as the sun's rays dip behind the wall. As Cal, Sarah, Theodora, and Blackstone look around, the once busy streets have quieted for the most part. The lampposts have been lit, offering a trail down the many roads of Ilopan. Around you, you occasionally hear the notes of music or uproarious laughter from many of the homes and taverns. As the four of you stand on the cobblestone street just outside of Greenwich's shop, what would you like to do?
Which way? Did you see the trail?
Oh, it was just past that gate over that way there. Suppose I could try to pick up the track again once we left the wall, but I wouldn't know exactly which way it turned once it left the city.
Well, if that is a point of origin, I suppose after that we could start looking for other evidence they might have left, like footprints, or perhaps the remnants of casting components.
Oh, absolutely. I could look for trails of magic again.
It's getting dark. We should go.
Of course. And so Cal will be filling with the pearl in his hand that he just got from Greenwich while he's reading over the spell that he picked up. He's doing the walk and read thing.
Which direction are you going?
Which gate of the town did he see the
So Greenwich is more towards the center of town. You would basically be going south. You'd be going south.
Okay, so is it one of those? Is it like a basic 4-gate city where there's like a gate at each compass point?
Yes,
okay,
exactly
so we'll be heading for the south gate.
Okay. All right. And as you slowly make your way south, Sarah, what did you want to do?
When we get to the gate, then Sareth is going to lightly touch Cal's shoulder. I would like to help, if possible.
Oh, do you do scrying magic then?
No, not really. But I can at least help a little bit, and they will a swirl of little stars will come off of their wrist and down and will go and swirl around your spellbook, and Sareth is casting guidance on you.
Whoa! And so as Cal sees the little stars orbit the spellbook, Cal will go, well, I've heard of Stellomancy, but I've never seen it up close. I've heard of people pulling magic straight from the stars, but not out of earthen components. And as the spell encircles Cal's spellbook, you see the tiny image of Drix pop up on there. Whoa! I'm awake! What are we? Wow! What are we doing? I think you just as I see it. Am I correct with this is guidance being cast?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
you get
guidance.
1d4 added to a roll.
I'm gonna go ahead and say guidance cast on the spell book. Just hit Drix like caffeine.
I love that. All right. and you continue your way down the road back towards where the tea leaves is. It takes a few minutes. It's not so much the traffic, but since the lamp posts have been lit, it's a little bit darker. Most of you are still getting acclimated to the town as well. Blackstone, you're walking around like you know this place pretty well. But eventually you find yourselves out in front of Mary's Tea Leaves shop. Not far from the gate. The gate's about, let's say, about 40 to 50 feet away.
And Sarah was going to wait till we got outside the gate to cast guidance.
Okay.
So.
All right. And you're continuing outside the gate then, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I think that was the plan.
Just making sure, that's
Okay.
all. All right. So you continue past the gate. You do see that at this point, the Crown's Guard is also changing over. The afternoon guards are switching out, and you do see that the more nighttime esque guards are starting to step into place. You can see that their armor differentiates slightly. It's not a bright yellow blazoned kind of armor that they're wearing, but a more of a kind of darker tones with grays and purples, just so they can actually almost blend into the walls that are behind them, still being on guard, but still having that access of a little bit more discretion rather, behind that. But you yes, Cal, you can do that. You continue outwards, and you find yourselves amongst the caravans that have been sent out just outside of the gates as well. Each of you do hear, as you're kind of walking out the gates, two Crowds Guard that are kind of standing directly there, both call it you to basically just be careful, because once you're outside the gate, it's kind of outside their jurisdiction. So they just mentioned to be careful as you're kind of moving about, but it's a lively area. People are moving around. And let me pull up change in song. But it's party time out here because we're still 2 nights away from the festival, for the Harvest Festival. People are out there drinking. You see merchants and people moving around in different carts, sharing their food. There's tons of smells of meats and just amazing ales that are in the air. There's music playing in the background as you all are milling about. You are muted.
It's
Just so I know, I want to hear what Deodora's doing. But if just so I know, does the town basically end at the wall, and then it's like a lot of nothing, or there's still like houses and buildings and stuff outside the
There's
wall?
not that many. It's mainly right now. There's a caravan city that's outside,
Sure.
but
Got
most of it is within the city.
So this is just a street party. Got it.
Correct.
yeah, it's a block party.
Massive block party.
It's like, is it customary for them to just park outside of the city? And also, just a question about the caravan. Are there any caravans that I would recognize? Is it like people from the woods or just like people from other cities?
You saw a few of these caravans when you and Aurea were making your way into the city itself. If you remember, Aurea got like a stick of, I think it was a chicken leg with like it to look like a pasture. So there's a few people that look kind of familiar just because you've seen them. You can tell based upon their kind of where they're from all over. You see some people are sweating quite a bit, but they're wearing the heavy coats of the north. You see some that are wearing more kind of sparse or lighter clothing that might be from the south or from the west. It's very rare you just see them milling about, very richly attired finery kind of being shown, and you can kind of guess that they're coming from the capital, from the east. So it's a nice little mix, but for the most part, everybody is just kind of having a fun time. The caravan, to give you an idea, it's directly outside of the gate. on the left and on the right, and extends either way about, I would say, like, it's pretty large, almost a mile. There's people coming from all over. So it's a very big kind of party for this. Because people enjoy coming to these festivals.
And in response to Theodora's question, Cal will go, "Oh, you see, walls are year-round. They have to be. And so you don't want the wall too far out of town, because then you have a big empty inside of your wall most of the year. But then once these festivals come, that wall's too small. So you have a lot of people at a festival that just like to park outside the wall. And festivals are peace times, so you don't need walls in peace times, do you?"
I don't know. I've never lived with walls.
That's fair. I mean, I can relate, but most of these cities with the walls, the reason the walls are all built in the first place is because some kind of war. So.
Okay. Like, Theodore's like, I will examine that later. I think she like takes in like, everyone partying and stuff, and like the sounds and the smells of the food and whatnot, and then it's just like eyes on the prize, and unless like the magic trail ends here with one of these people, this isn't important to me right now.
Correct. I will say that the trail, Cal, you're picking up dregs that are kind of little spatterings in the air. It continues to the right as you're coming out of the gate, past. It's basically going to the east, back towards like where the capital is at. Right. If you continue down that path, again, lots of music and stuff happening. But both you, Cal, and you, Theodora, would pick up something familiar. The magic seems to get slightly stronger as you're going. Theodora, you pick up a familiar scent.
Is it the Minotaur?
Considering that's the one that you took a special interest in, I'm not going to make you roll for it. Yes.
Oh, I only took a special interest in case I need to find him to beat his ass later.
No, you, as you continue past that, you're now reaching almost the midpoint of where the wall of Ilopan goes. It goes for another mile, and then there's the river itself. It's a pretty large city. But as you're kind of going, you see almost like little sparklings, fireflies of dredge kind of magic being held. And it pulls you from where the majority of the caravans are to where that ends, midpoint in the wall.
Right.
The wall extends upwards, and you can see that there's why don't actually, at this point, whoever wants to can roll an investigation check.
Including Cal, or just you've already given Cal what he knows?
Correct.
Which one? Including Cal rate the check, or you've already told?
Including Cal.
Got it.
What check are we rolling?
Investigation.
Investigation.
That's a 7.
Okay. Wait, aren't you proficient with it or no?
No.
Investigation. Oh, how about is your nature higher?
My nature is the same because they're both. These are both intelligence based, and I have a +0 to my intelligence.
Got it. Okay.
So
I was trying, Fair. I was trying. Really
I
hard.
appreciate it. Now, if you get a perception, then I can work with you on, but everything else, no.
Let's go with perception then, because we'll go with that for you.
Should I re-roll or?
Correct.
Okay.
Sarah's got a 19.
Okay. Is it worse? Oh god.
It is worse.
We're gonna say that Theodora, you're kind of sensory overload. You've got all the smells happening of, bacon and roasted pork and just amazing food. Y'all are starting to get to the point of being hungry after tea and all that, but you're also very concerned about Aurea, so that's your attention's divided. It's
like bacon, pork, and then stank ass Minotaur.
Yes, you're kind of picking that up too. Anyone that rolled above a 15. Did anyone roll below that?
Finn, you have a guidance.
I do have a guidance. Look at that.
You do.
And now I did roll above a 15.
Yay! There you go.
It was a 13 and now it's a 16.
You can see that where the wall and the kind of grass is meeting, there is a section of the wall that kind of arches where there's these grates, you know, to kind of let out the rainwater and stuff like that. Normally, you would see that the city is on the other side. Instead, you all see a set of stairs that are going down.
Oh.
And the magic is stronger in this area.
And down the stairs then?
Correct.
Right. Okay. Cal's clocking that. You see Cal kind of step to the side and kneel down on the ground. He reaches into his bag and he pulls out this handful of sticks.
Okay.
And what he'll do with them is he'll throw them on the ground, and then he kneels down and puts the edge of his cloak over them. He reaches under the cloak and picks them out one at a time and lays them on top of his cloak.
Okay.
So he's pulling out 3 of them. And as he does, he's like looking over them and pondering what they're doing. Ooh. All right, so there's that. Okay, so we got a court, we got a Nietal, a Gort, a Nietal, and a Cole. Oh. Right. So down the stairs then.
Do you want to describe what happened, Fen?
If anyone asks.
Okay,
because-
Theodora is giving you
Yeah, I
a
was
look
gonna
like,
say.
what the fuck are you? Why are you playing with sticks right now?
Scout just did the reading.
Down.
He was going to go with the results, but then he's
Look.
like, oh.
Look,
Down the stairs, you say? What stairs are you referring to?
Yeah,
he's-
none of us saw stairs.
Oh, none of you guys saw stairs. Got it. All right, then Cal will just point to the grate and he'll say, well, you see there, the magic is stronger down the stairs. Now, before I wanted to just take a quick check of what it's telling me, what the earth is telling me since it's going down to the earth, and to find out.
I thought you were a wizard.
Oh, I am. But you see, the earth doesn't speak directly to me, like it does to some others.
I'm confused then.
Oh well, I've met magical people who are directly connected to the earth, and I knew some of them myself, family members, and it never has happened for me. So my ma taught me tricks on how to see how the earth was feeling at the time, and what she taught me was throwing sticks, throw an ogham, and when you throw the ogham, we have an alphabet that would tell us what the earth is saying, and so the ogham read to me today, Gort, Nietal, and Kol, and well, what those mean is you pull a past, a present, and a future, and it seems the past was reading about the spiral of life, exploration. And the future was reading about being aware of where you are in your environment. And the future reading, the call, well, the call just means direct action. So, seems like the earth is telling us to go for it.
As Cal says direct action, Theodora is like pulling on this grate to go down the damn stairs.
Okay.
Well,
like everything that
Ash-
what Cal's doing is you just see her in the background just like like pulling on the grate.
Love it. Why don't you do
Might
a
I-
strength check?
Might
to
I
see?
suggest that before you do that, we try to find a way in that might draw a little bit less attention, because we don't want people following us if someone becomes aware that we're here.
that's a good point there. But
Just- we're gonna have to break into that, right?
do we see a latch on the grate? Is there like an access hatch or something, or is this grate like never meant to be opened, only there for water to go through?
As you're looking at it, and I'm not going to make you roll again because it's based off of what you were looking at before. It doesn't have a latch.
Right.
It looks like it's been stuck in place. Should not be moved. However, Deodora, since you already said you were pulling on it, why don't you roll a strength?
And Cal's looking back and forth between Blackstone and Deodora. He's like, well, you make a good point, but you're already... Oh, I see.
Just
Okay.
just a straight strength or like athletics or
I would say strength because you are pulling on that
Okay.
door.
14.
14. Okay. It's budging a bit. You feel that there are 6 bars that are kind of holding that grate together. And you feel that the second and the 6th bar are slightly weaker. That's the word I was looking for. Weaker than the other ones. So that one gives a little bit, but you're just not pulling enough for it to come out.
Did it create any kind of like cracks or breaks in the wall?
Nope. Nope, no cracks or breaks.
For however long I've been here, would I know how to get into this spot? Like the spot that they're looking at?
This is not something that, at least to your expertise, you would not be familiar with. This is the first time you're coming across it.
As she fails to pull these bars out, you see Theodora reaching for her fucking maul
Before,
to bash it.
before you get too rash. Go ahead, Sarah.
Jordan,
Yes.
would you allow Sereth to help Deodora? And probably just give her advantage by assisting with the Constellation Whip.
Sure.
All right. Okay.
I
So
love that.
since you're both trying to bash it, does Cal have time to suggest an alternative option to break in the wall?
Hey, Cal.
Why don't you do a roll off?
As a note, Cal, I can't just fix it later, you know.
Well, I suppose that's true. All right. So if you could fix the wall later, I suppose we could go with that. And so Theodora and Sarah would have seen Cal like, whoa, like get very very worried.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that internal conversation, just
And I think on the part of Blackstone, they would have seen like Blackstone just turn and like look at Cal but not say anything, just give like a slight nod and then look back at the two of you to see what you're gonna do.
All right.
Okay.
Theodora, you can roll with advantage.
Yep.
Okay.
Sereth will pull out the whip and throw it so it'll wrap around one of the bars or a couple of the bars.
That's a dirty 20.
All right. Pull again, this time with the star whip wrapping around one of the bars as well. You hear it grating against the stone, and eventually the grate does come off. And now
Well, I
you
don't
are...
like that sound.
in Blackstone's head, you'll hear Cal. And you're sure you're good at fixing that much damage?
Well, as long as it's mundane items and not magical things, should be fine.
Yeah, should be fine. Should be fine. This will be fine.
And with your passive perception, because I'm assuming y'all are trying to do this somewhat quietly, luckily the parties are happening pretty loudly that no one has taken notice. You can tell already early in the evening, most people are getting pretty drunk. So for the moment, no one has noticed. But you've lifted the grate. There are now a set of stairs leading into darkness. The grate size, most of you are going to probably have to crawl through. But what would you like to do?
I will be the last one to go in, simply so that I can fix I could use mending to fix the parts of the wall or the grate that we broke.
Cal goes ahead and he, straps all of his packs a little tighter. He takes his walking stick and like kind of does the, for lack of better terms, Donatello thing and slides it back under his cloak so he doesn't have to carry it. And then he gets on. You see him get on all fours, and it's a very natural. It's a very natural move for him. You're like, wow, you just really are good for digging under the earth, aren't you? And so he gets on all fours and just like very nonchalant, casually, like, oh yeah, we're going into the tunnel. And so
as I'm sorry. As he goes down, like, I think Theodore will put a hand on his shoulder and say, "You sure you want to go first?"
Oh, right. Action. That's you then, isn't it? And he kind of does like a, quadrupedal back walk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you then. All right. So after you, my dear.
Theodora looks around and is like, huh. Squishies. Just kidding. No, kidding. Then goes in first.
All right. And Theodora, do you have dark vision?
I believe so. Yes, I do.
Perfect. Okay. So you are able to see the set of stairs lead down about 2 flights. And at the very bottom of that is a wooden door with, you can see it as you are walking down, there is a lock on it.
For my mom.
As we're going down, is the whole tunnel, that whole like low ceiling, we've got to crawl basically the whole way?
No, once you're through the grate, there's space. So you don't have to crawl the entire time. You're able to kind of stand up and it's still tight, but you won't have to be crawling down it. No.
All right, and like
it's
once
just the initial, and then you're through.
Yeah.
Once we're inside and we and it's obvious that it's all dark in here, Cal will telepathically say to Theodora, "Is it safe to throw a light? Can you see around here?" Oh, sorry, Cal again.
What? How?
I
don't think you've ever spoke to her in her head.
No, I do remember that Cal explained it to the party last time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Cal. Sorry, remember the mind talk. I just didn't know. Is it safe to speak in here? Is it safe to throw a light?
There's just a door, so I don't know. I don't see anybody else. Can I maybe press my ear up against the door to see if I hear anything?
Mm-hmm. If you want to go ahead and roll a perception.
Perception. That's a 22.
Okay. It's a little bit difficult to hear. You do hear the murmurings of somebody's talking to somebody else. It sounds like they're going away from the door.
Okay.
And you can hear, with your excellent hearing, you can hear footsteps trailing away as well. That scent as well is also trailing away.
The Minotaur scent?
Mm-hmm.
I will relay all of that to Cal in my, hesitantly in my mind. So there's people talking, and I smell that Minotaur that was bothering Blackstone earlier. He's here.
Right. And so Cal then takes his staff off of his back, and he'll touch the top of the staff with a couple claws, and he'll say, "Solus." And as he does, the top of the staff lights up. The room is now illuminated as he casts light on the tip of his staff. And so sorry for the moment of silence till while we got our bearings, but it would seem Theodora has followed the trail of our friend the Minotaur down the way of this door here. But as excited as we are, I'm sure, to break another entrance to another passageway, does anyone know how how to booby trap, or better yet, how to unbooby trap some secret passages. It seems like this is not intended for us.
I could smash it.
Well, of course, but I'm sure that might be the appropriate trigger for some booby traps. Blackstone, you still know how to rig a door?
I know how to undo them, if that's what you're asking. But, let me see what I got going on here. Oh, I don't have that spell, so I can't do that particular thing. But I can try to disarm something.
Suppose what I'm getting at is like, who's the best at checking a door for traps?
Oh, it's absolutely not Theodore.
Why don't you let me do that?
Oh,
At the very least, in the worst of all possible cases, I might be a little bit less likely to die immediately for several reasons.
Of course.
Okay.
This, I guess, is going on between. I hear the telepathy voice. Is it going on between Blackstone and Theodora then?
Oh no, this is a telepathy voice. I'm just being very quiet.
Oh, you sounded very echoey.
Yeah, you sounded like you were using your voice.
A little bit. Maybe it's just
I'm in an acoustically enhanced room.
There you go.
Right. The soothing timbre of your voice, Sam. I could hear it for hours.
Yeah.
But, sorry, your voice was so majestic it made me think you were magical anyways, so let's go ahead.
I mean, Sin is magical.
True.
Not wrong.
Well, okay, but if you can't do it, I'll just smash it.
Okay.
But I think that I have faith that you can do it.
I want you to reserve your most furious smashing for the person on the end of this. But that means we don't want them to know that we're coming. Wait a minute. You're a hunter. I think you understand this. We're hunting right now.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's my prey. Just a big cow.
Sareth will walk up to Blackstone and will say, "Please don't die," and will also cast guidance on him.
I don't intend to. Otherwise, how are we going to make our report back to the headmaster and go and get Aurea back?
Exactly. But you got this.
Okay.
So you get
wait,
a D4
there,
to be added to an ability check.
okay, is there a thing that... Wait. You know, we were talking a lot about traps at the moment. Is there something that I should be checking right now? Observing, perhaps.
Are you asking me, Sin, or are you asking the group?
I'm asking the party.
Okay, got it.
As far as I know, some folks that have secret doors below a city like to perhaps leave a wire on the latch, or something in the hinge, or something that will either alert them that someone's coming, or deter us from moving forward.
I mean, yeah, you said you were going to make sure there weren't any traps, so...
Okay, to the DM, is there an actual door? Like, okay. Then I will go forth and check the door.
All right, go ahead and roll investigation.
Investigation. All right.
Or here's a better question. What are you searching for specifically?
For the door?
You're searching for the door, but is there something specific you were searching on the door? Like a...
Okay, so in this case, with a door, I would be looking for, like, hints of, like, because this has a place that's emanating magic,
Yes.
I'm looking for magical protections for this door rather than physical ones.
Got it. Okay. Yes, you are. Go ahead and did you roll for investigation then?
Okay.
That's all. I just need to know what you were looking for specifically. That's all.
Okay. So for this one, because I'm looking for possible magical traps, is this investigation or arcana?
Arcana then. That's why I was asking for the specification because you can look for either or.
That is going to be a 16 on arcana.
You are definitely picking up some magical vibes from not specifically the lock on the door that's holding it together. The door doesn't seem like it's magical. It's the lock itself that seems is kind of glowing as you're kind of searching this thing for any kind of traps or magical essence that's kind of just waiting to be triggered. And that lock is glowing a bright red.
My sensors have picked up a bit of magic on the lock of this door.
Oh, aye, that's not entirely unexpected. DM would, if it would have to be a ritual, but if Cal were to cast detect magic, would it give any more than what Blackstone already picked up?
Nope.
Right. That's
Are there any rocks on the ground nearby?
There's a couple. There's not that many, but I mean, being that this is a place of stone, rocks have fallen off of the wall or bits. So yes, there's a couple of pebbles, not very large rocks, but there are a couple that you could choose from.
I pick up like a slightly larger than a pebble rock.
Okay.
Everyone, would you just mind standing back a bit from the door?
Well, certainly.
Do we need to try and dispel the magic off the lock first?
Unfortunately, that's not within my set of capabilities, so I was going to try to just set the trap off from a distance. Unless any of you have the ability to dispel magic.
I don't have the ability.
Not the undoing.
I don't have magic.
Okay. Well then, everyone just stand back for a moment, and I throw a rock at the lock on the door to see what happens.
Cal is definitely standing behind Theodora at this moment.
Okay. How close are you standing to the door, Blackstone?
Well, how much space do we have? Let's ask that question.
You've got a few feet back. I mean, it's stairs. It's literally stairs down, and then you're in a probably about 5-foot area before the door. So you'd be stepping back onto stairs.
Okay, so I would be at the base of the stairs.
Okay. So as you chuck this pebble at you're going for the lock specifically.
Mm-hmm.
That goes off. 2 things happen. From the ceiling, you see tiles flip over, and these large knives start protruding down. At the same time, the floor flips over right next to the door, and the knives go up. On top of that, the lock itself releases a purple gas that floats for a moment, and then you see everything shifts back.
I believe our investigation was a success.
Is the magic's gone now? Can we just go in the door?
I don't know if that's how that works.
Unfortunately, I feel that it is a certainty that is not how that works. That trap just reset, which means if we come near that door again, it will probably do the same thing. However, it would put you in very imminent danger to ask you to go and smash the door.
Cal holds his staff real close and touches his chest, and you hear him say, "Kahajek Dryokta," and like you see aura surround him. He's nervously casting mage armor on himself really fast.
Smart.
Is there any sort of gap underneath the door?
Wait a minute. Is the
hang on. Hang on. I apologize. Let Sarah finish her sentence, and then I will let you go, Blackstone. Yes, Sarah.
Is there any space or anything underneath the door? Is there like one of those like grated windows or anything?
There's not a grated window. It's just a wooden door itself. There is a little bit of room underneath, but it's not much.
How much is a little bit of room?
I would say about 2 inches.
Okay. Sareth goes, oh, I have an idea. I have a really good idea. And will wild shape into a salamander that looks like Cal. With the same coloring.
I love it.
And will go and scurry through everything and go under the door.
Okay. Why don't you roll a dexterity savings throw as you were doing this?
Okay. Oh, gosh.
That smoke dissipate, or did you just run into the fog like Leroy
It
Jenkins?
was slowly dissipating, but
Okay.
I mean...
Has it reached that far down?
I mean, it's floating in the air, so it's kind of moving around right now because it's kind of following the movement that the knives were taking. So it's floating in the air, but it's not progressing in your direction. It hasn't reached that ground level that you're going. That's not what I'm having you roll for.
Okay.
So
dexterity saving throw. That's an 18.
okay. All right. So you in your little form push forward. And as you are kind of moving, you see the fog kind of smoke, whatever it may be, is kind of dissipating. From the sides, looks like this thing had a delay as it scissors on both sides. You are just able to kind of jump around it.
You hear a
And
little bit of
now-
a little lizard squeak.
As you are now right up against the door, you can see a little bit underneath.
I would like to go under the door.
You go underneath the door.
But they'll go slowly.
Sure. I imagine you're kind of checking. On the other side of the door is a dimly lit, it looks almost like a storage room. The room itself is about 10 by 15. It looks like it has another set of stairs in the very center of the room. These are much nicer. There's actually like a wooden hand railing that is kind of leading it down. You hear movement of boxes being moved. You hear, it's kind of hard to tell, but with your sensitive ears, you're picking up the vibrations of several voices are speaking at this time. It looks like they're moving stuff around, going to a lower level. The room itself is barren on the walls. It just has stacked the boxes on either side. But at least that is what you're picking up right now. There's no one in the immediate area. Feeling the vibrations, it looks like somebody just went downstairs.
Can I lizard crawl up the side of the wall towards the ceiling to get a better sight line
Correct.
on stuff?
Yep, you can easily do that, not a problem. And so you climb up the top of the wall.
You know, it occurred to me that I'm of a constitution that is rather resistant to poison. Well, if that's what that was anyway.
I would imagine it'd be some kind of poison or sleep gas.
All right, Sarah, what are you doing?
Can I make a perception check or something?
Sure. What are you looking for specifically?
To see if there's anyone else in this
There's
room.
no one in this room. Nope. It's literally all that's in here right now are some torches that have been lit, some boxes, and you on the ceiling. That's
Okay.
it.
That is a 18. Does it look like there's any other danger stuff? Or does it just look like a storage room?
It just looks like a storage room.
Okay.
Nothing else of note in this specific room.
Okay.
On the opposite side of the wall, you hear the kind of spears/knives that came out going back to their original spot. The gas at this point has dissipated, and from what you can tell, Blackstone, the whole thing is completely reset.
So, looking at the timing on the trap, how long did it take for all of that stuff to spring?
So the throwing of the stone, the turning of the tiles, knives coming down /spears to that took about, I would say, less than 30 seconds. The delay was the problem. The delay came in about a minute later.
Okay.
So the knives and the gas were instant.
Yes,
Okay.
pretty much instantaneously. It looks like the way that this trap may have been set up, Blackstone, to give you a little bit more criteria of kind of pinning something in place and then trying to silence it and stop any kind of ability to be alive past this point. Whatever is happening here, they are making sure that it's hidden.
Is it typical that when the door is open, that means that the trap is disabled?
You could certainly try.
Right, we could see can Cal do his telepathy through the door? Because I know rules is written, it says to a creature I can see.
You've already made the connection with Seraph at some point, so
okay.
Yeah, I would allow it. I'm not going to rules like, no, you can't talk to her or talk to them. It would make sense that you would be able to have that contact.
All right, well then Cal will reach out telepathically to Seraph and, do you find anything? Are you all right? We saw a little bit of skitter there with the spears.
I'm fine. It looks like this is pretty much just a storage room. Currently, there's no one in it, but there is a set of stairs on the other side of the room.
Can you see a way to open the door from your side?
Is there a handle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I can open the door.
All right, to have another idea, could you keep your eye on that handle, dear? And as he's saying that telepathically, he speaks out loud to the other two. So she's fine. She's in the room. Apparently, there is a way to open the door from the other side. But to make sure we know more of how this thing works, Cal will he will cast a mage hand.
I have a question.
Go for it.
I don't know much about magic, but it seems like, why would the other side be trapped if that's where they need to be?
Oh, you're very right. But then there are some magics that allow for exceptions. You see, where if a certain person touches the door, no spikes, no nothing. So a cunning mage or arcanist might have put a two-way trap on this door where no one can get in. But if someone unauthorized did get in, they could also not get out.
Okay.
Better safe than sorrowful, you know. And so Cal had asked Sarah to keep their eyes on the door, and he will reach out and he'll go Lav Biag, and you see his hand, like a spectral version of his hand, fly off at the end of his arm, and it will go to the door and does the trap, like as it closes around the door, does the trap go off? All right.
Does immediately.
While it's going, during that, he's going to try to make the hand go ahead and swing the door open to see if he can.
The lock is still holding. Keep in mind that the lock is still there. Yeah.
Okay.
You would have to get rid of the lock that's basically holding that door in place.
Right. Okay.
So to rewind it back a little bit for you. So.
I'm going to have to make sure to learn that spell one day.
Yeah, you're still. Unfortunately, I know doors can be difficult for adventurers. You still have the lock to contend with first.
Is there?
Well,
is it a? Go ahead.
It's a padlock. It's a padlock, kind of like what you would see on like a barn door, or things like that. It's a padlock that is holding it in place.
So I couldn't even open the door from.
Correct.
Okay.
You would not be. It's locked. So.
Got it.
Okay. So, we have an idea of how much time it takes once we set the things off. Perhaps I might be able to use some of these tools to pick the lock in that time before the traps completely reset.
Oh, and exactly how fast can you do that there?
Well, I suppose we'll have to find out. And I pull out like a small like pouch that has a whole bunch of jingly things in it. Okay, so my thinking here is you set off the traps, it'll use whatever powder it uses, and that's fine. But then from there, I would be able to try to run in and pick the trap there.
Why don't you roll? Because we'll just do one roll. I'm not going to make you roll twice. So why don't you roll a dex save if you're doing this? Because this is how quickly you are undoing that lock and getting the fuck out of the way.
And you still have a guidance if you didn't use it on your last.
Okay.
I did not, and
DC,
it might be
I'm
useful
going to say
here.
it before you say your roll. The DC is going to be 19 because you're trying to do two intricate things at once.
I can definitely tell you that is not what I rolled.
Oh, what did you roll?
With the guidance, it is a total of 9.
Oof. Okay. All right. So you see Blackstone stepping towards the lock to quickly pull, and all of a sudden, you hear this, and the tiles flip either side and come down. Blackstone, you're going to take 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Then the gas is going to come out. That's going to be 12 points of poison.
Oof.
You are resistant, correct?
Yes, I am.
You only take half of that,
resistant to
so you only take 6. Yes, Theodora.
Since the trap's already been set off, minus that delay that we know about, can I just go bash this fucking lock?
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Yes, you have quickly. You can do this. Yes.
Okay.
Before the latter half of the trap is going to
that's going to be 18.
Oh, yeah. You smack that lock. Go ahead and roll a damage.
Okay, great. That is 12 damage.
Oh, yeah. The lock immediately kind of explodes outwards, and the door... Sarah, if you feel on your end, the door shifts, so it's starting to go outwards. You have a quick opportunity that the 3 of you that are not on the opposite side can get it.
Yeah. I want to just rush through and like snatch Blackstone up on my way, so because I know those little scissors are coming.
Yep. Go ahead, Theodora. Roll a dex save. Cal, roll a dex save as well because you were moving quickly.
Dex save is going to be 18.
Okay. Yep, you're able to get through, no problem. Just missed it.
16.
16. You are stepping through, and just as you're about to lift your leg over, it comes through and ends up hitting you for 4 points of damage, piercing.
Oof.
Right.
But all of you have defeated the lock and the door. And you are now seeing the same thing that Sereth was seeing. It is a storage room that's 15 by 10. There's just stacks of boxes. It's dimly lit, and in the very center of the room, there is a set of stairs that has a wooden railing that is going down. At this point, you all are not hearing any other noise. No one seems to have noticed that you've infiltrated.
As soon as everyone makes it through, Sereth will scurry back down the wall, and in a swirl of stars, then they will drop the wild shape.
How rough is Blackstone looking? I know Finn heard the numbers, but what do we see on Blackstone at the moment?
Like if there were a way to see those things, it just mostly looks like his scarf has a couple of tears.
All right, well, Cal, are you hurt there then, Blackstone?
I'm operational.
Well, that's true, but how do you feel then? It looks like you took a bit of a beating there.
I did, but I'm sure I'll be fine.
Insight check, is he hurting?
No, like
Are they hurting?
inside check as in there was some health loss here, but he's okay. He has more than half his health at least.
Well, I mean, that's true, but...
Well, how's everyone else?
Out of character question. The time that we were at the Wizard's Tower, did that count as a short rest?
It did count as a short
Okay,
rest.
because I as a player forgot to roll hit die.
Yes.
I was like,
I know the question came up last time. Yes, that was a short rest because
Okay.
at least Theodora was just pacing. I know Cal and Sereth were doing things at that time, so you did not get the benefits of a short rest. But at least for Blackstone and for Theodora, yes, that was a short rest.
Okay.
Is Cal limping?
No, well, Cal's like he's got a little cut on like one side of his leg, but he's like, oh, that's a scratch. That's nothing. That's fine.
Little driplets of blood coming down behind Cal. And you can see where a portion of the kilt that had been hanging low got cut a little bit by the spears that were coming through. But otherwise, he's looking fine. Like, not worse for wear otherwise.
Okay.
And with his kind of a gemstone kind of skin, a cut looks more like a little crack. So you kind of just see some cracks along just one of his thighs where it hit.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
Well, onward to further peril, I suppose.
That would be the next move.
Jordan, are you talking? Because you
Hello.
can't hear you. Okay, there you are.
Sorry.
And Sereth, before they start walking, Sereth goes, my assumption is that we're gonna need to be stealthy. So I might have a little thing to help with that. And we'll cast Pass Without Trace. And
Ooh, thank goodness.
everyone's feet are a little sparkly.
Oh, cute.
Winkle.
Twinkly.
Theodora
That's the word,
and
twinkly.
Blackstone. As
That's
you
me.
are kind of focusing your magic and looking around the chambers a bit more, you see that several of these boxes is very small, but there is an inscription on several of the boxes that says Lyros and Astera.
Does
And
Blackstone
with
relay
that-
this to me? Because
With that, we're gonna take a break.
Ow!
So we'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all. Great job. Because I know that was tough.
We
We're
beat a
gonna
door.
Doors are difficult. Listen,
It's always the
so
door. Always the door.
it's always that's why I tried to change it so it was the lock that was the problem. It wasn't the door's fault, it was the lock. But we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break, y'all. We'll be back with our Monkin Fairy April as well, who will be joining us. But get up, take a stretch, go get some water or some tea, and we'll be back. And welcome back, everybody. And we have our good friend April with us now. Yay! So, hope you all have gotten up, got some hydration. Where we left our group of adventurers, Seraph, Blackstone, Caldrix, and Deodora made their way through Ilopan and exited the city. After following the road and the large caravan about halfway through the trek to the river, they found a section of the wall that had a storm grate, normally used to let out water that might be collecting within the city. However, upon further investigation, they found that instead of seeing the city on the opposite side of the storm drain, a set of dark steps led further down. Deodora, with the help of Seraph, were able to pull the grate off, and our adventurers were able to make their way down the set of stairs to face a door with a magical lock that was booby-trapped. After quite some time, a little bit of finagling, Seraph was able to get on the opposite side of the door, and Deodora was able to use that opportunity to break down that specific lock. However, that did trigger the trap, and before Blackstone had been testing it, got injured in the process, and Cal ended up taking a couple points of damage. They found themselves within a storage room that had boxes lining it, and Blackstone specifically saw that several of these boxes were labeled with the words Astera and Lyros, which, a reminder to our new adventurers, are two of the schools of magic. But we're going to peel away from all of that for the time and head over to back in Astera in Deidre Wardington's study, the Earth Genasi that had been helping our adventurers figure out what's going on with these stones. Asleep on the table is Aurea, who, having dreaming for a little bit, found herself face to face with a starry sky and a comet until it came into closer view. You understand this, Aurea, as this is the line that the veil has, the barrier that is keeping the Lady of the Veil from traversing further. You see her standing before you about 10 feet, just beyond that comet. Long, rainbow hair, looking almost like an aurora borealis in the sky. Humanoid. And as you bowed, she smiled and turned in your direction. Is there anything you would like to do, Aurea?
Yes. Sorry, I'm just
all good.
Running behind on everything. Aurea bows very deeply to. Oh, that's sorry. One last thing.
All good. Take your time.
Forgot to join the closed captioning. Okay, we're in. Aurea bows. She's taking a moment to take in what is happening. This isn't normal, is it? This isn't like a thing that happens.
You have heard tale from your fairy siblings and mentors and teachers about this, but this is the first time that you yourself have come into contact and felt it. You've seen this figure on tapestries and everywhere because she's so celebrated. She is the one that is between archways, is the one that ferries individuals onto their eventual lands of rest. So, but for you to be this close to the veil, that's something that you have not experienced before.
Aurea is very nervous. She is kind of eyes darting while she's looking down, trying to figure out the right thing to say. Trying to be polite and act as if this was a great honor, knowing that it is, but she's always been a little awkward. And with that, she is going to then be heard speaking. Lady of the Veil.
Yes. Seems you have ventured a bit too far.
This seems early. I shouldn't see this yet. Should I?
Well, fate has an interesting way of pointing individuals in the right direction.
Oh, well, as she starts to stand up, she looks around.
And for a moment you see this face that looks more ancient, older than the world, kind of staring back at you with kind eyes and a smile. Don't worry, child. It's not your time yet. But there are things at work here that are a bit concerning.
As she stands up, her eyes get big as she looks around. It's absolutely beautiful here. I don't know why anyone would be afraid of venturing here.
Well, many adventurers do seem to find their ways to the borders of the Vale. Don't necessarily stay for long. We don't have much time.
What can I do for the lady?
It's not necessarily what you can do for me, but what can you do for yourself?
I don't think I quite understand the question.
Well, you've recently lost something. Look. And she kind of gestures over to you. And as you look down, you see yourself, but to the right, as you're kind of floating in this sky, there is a large cut along your side. And instead of blood or ichor that's coming out of it, it's just void space. It's almost like when you're cutting figures off of a piece of paper, a portion of you has been cut out.
First time she's like taking herself into this situation. Oh, is that what happened? It was the cart.
I wouldn't say it's the cart. We don't have much time. This has happened before. Those stones you are dealing with, you need to be incredibly careful.
Okay. Do you know what are they? What are...
I don't know exactly what they are, but they're using your spirit, your soul, to power something. And if it's happening now after an age, I fear the worst. And you see at this point, she's starting to her image is starting to jitter.
Mm-hmm. So they're stealing souls to power the stones? To power something?
Well,
or spirits?
At least a portion of yours. Your soul hasn't been taken yet.
But a portion of my spirit has been stolen to
I don't know.
They must be doing this to others then. This can't be. And she looks panicked because this isn't a thing. They've been trained to help with spirits, and this is not a thing that can be done.
Obviously, that poses a threat not only to what you've set out to do, but also my domain as well.
We must find that can do this. This cannot be allowed.
Goes against everything.
I will find them. I swear that to you.
And she smiles and kind of nods her head. Again, the static, the stars are trying to take up more. All I ask is that you be careful. Make sure that this knowledge that you possess, be careful with who you share this knowledge with, but make sure it is shared. For if it is not shared, it dies with you.
I will not let that happen.
She kind of nods. And you kind of feel yourself starting to drift backwards.
Right as that happens, she goes into one final bow salute from when she was in the monastery. And that's when she fades back.
You hear her last words as you're kind of fading into the stars. I'm always just beyond the veil. And after a moment, you kind of wake with a start in Deidre's study. You can kind of see she's still kind of off to the side, kind of inspecting some of the shards that were left with her. Oh, you've awoken.
As soon as she wakes, she's gonna like grab her side and look to see if the void is still falling out of her.
Void is you're all together. You're there. Your wings are starting to slowly get their color back, very slowly.
My friends, Deodora, where did they go?
They, I believe, went back into the city. From then, I don't know. I know Caldrix, and she kind of makes the face like Caldrix's face. Was mentioning something about needing to get a pearl or some kind of element for spell casting. But hang on one moment. Let me see if I can get in contact with Blackstone. And you kind of see her like take a moment. She pulls out some an amethyst, which seems to be kind of her focus, and sets it on the table. As well as you see this little just plain old rock. From your angle, Aurea, you can see that she's inscribed the words Blackstone on it. And she places them next to each other, and there's a beam of light as she casts Send it. Blackstone, as you are kind of taking stock and seeing these storage crates, you hear in your mind Deidre's voice. Blackstone? I hope I'm not interrupting anything dangerous.
Oh, well, the time that you've chosen to communicate is quite opportune.
Aurea has awoken. She seems to have gotten some of her energy back. I was wondering if she could come and meet you, but I'm not exactly sure where you went.
Oh, well, Theodora will be most happy to hear that. You can't see things because Blackstone is wearing a mask here, but if anybody's paying attention to them, you'll see that their body relaxes just a bit.
Nice.
I think Cal, from anybody, like among the people here, would know there are probably mind-talking shenanigans happening at this moment because it's happened so many times.
Well, then Cal is just watching his face from here on out.
Well,
Or their mask, whatever, you know.
we're in some oddly placed set of catacombs.
Okay.
I'm not sure, or like just outside of the city walls. I'm not sure how to explain how to get here.
Imagine it. What path did you take?
Oh, well, let me see if I can do that this way. And I just try to like replay the events like a black and white movie from when we left the city walls up until the point that we're in.
Okay. Why don't you, even though it is recent, why don't you do a history check to see how well you can relay those images back of what recently happened, where exactly you are, how you got there.
Is it like a silent film where there's like cards that have like the dialogue on it in between each scene?
Just picture it has like the reel-to-reel sound of like it's
except for the fact that every time Deodora does something, it is like wildly exaggerated and there are a ton of explosions.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
That's an 11 on history.
I will say because of that description, why don't you roll with advantage?
Okay. No,
answer reward for
definitely.
role
It's
play.
still an 11 on
It's still
history.
11. Okay. It's a little spotty. Imagine those early films that still have the splotches and it gets out of focus every so often. But you kind of hear, you feel a sense of relief coming from Deidre of, oh, okay, I think I have a general idea where you're at. I kind of lose you around the caravan, but I think I know enough to let Aurea know.
My apology for that. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit distracted at the moment because you see, and there is a very clear full color image of the room that we're in, and there is a zoom in on the boxes that I'm looking at with the one that says Lyros and the other one that says Astera.
Oh, that's alarming.
The energy that we tracked that created that cart and has damaged our friend was traced to here. And in their lair, they have 2 boxes sent to magical schools.
Hang on one moment. And you kind of for a moment actually visualize her kind of standing in front of you, like holding the finger up to like wait. Or you see her quickly kind of stand up, and even in the green and brown that's in her kind of pale slightly. And she quickly rummages over to her desk. Okay, I'm just looking to see, and you hear again in your mind, Blackstone, just looking to see, we were anticipating a delivery. But why it would be hidden underground, we don't have time. I'm assuming there's probably... We'll talk about this later. Let me send Aurea your way. She'll be there soon. Be careful.
Okay. Well, understood.
Aurea, she has a look of concern on her face.
What's happening?
I know where I'm sending you.
Okay.
It seems like they're in a storage room and some of the boxes are labeled for 2 of the magical schools.
Why would that be a problem?
Well, any deliveries that I'm anticipating, I wasn't expecting to be hidden underground. So the fact that this is hidden, and gauging off of what I was seeing, hidden very well and properly trapped, means that something is very much going wrong. So I will send you for it, but you must be careful.
I will. Do they think it has anything to do with the gems or anything?
She would know. I definitely think it does.
Okay. I was going to say, did she pick up on that? It's very possible that's what they were investigating, was the trail of the gems anyways. So it's very possible.
You must warn them, please, and you too, that they're being powered by spirit. They're stealing spirit to power something.
That's not possible.
It is. It is. Please believe me.
And you see she kind of nods, but like still has that hesitancy, like understanding the gravity of the situation. We'll get more into that once we get your friends further on. Hang on a moment, dear. And she kind of reaches out towards you, kind of holding her hand out. And just prepare yourself. I'm gonna give you the instructions of exactly where you need to go.
Okay, thank you.
And do you take her hand?
Yes.
You see that there's a spark of almost electrical energy that kind of zaps outward from her, snakes down her arm, and goes to you. In a flash, you are flooded with the image of everybody going to Greenwich's shop to pick up a pearl. You see them making their way outside of Ilopan. It's now evening. You see them making their way past the caravans and the smells and the sights and the music to halfway down past the caravan. There's a grate that has been pulled off of the wall. You see that there's this door that has a lock that is now broken but was booby-trapped. You saw for a moment both Blackstone and Cal got hit by it as Deodora slammed it open, and now they're in a room underneath the city of Ilopan.
Good job, Deodora. I should be gone. And she's gonna go. Do my wings work? Can I fly at all?
Go ahead and give it a shot.
That was gonna be okay. I kind of try to get off the ground with my wings.
Roll a strength for me, please. You kind of flutter, not quite back, but you do have a little bit more control and strength than you did before.
This is my brand new dice that I got.
That
you can, they're anniversary dice for a friend.
Oh. Oops.
Don't take my roll for it though. They're still beautiful.
Yeah, the dice need some trading. You maybe need to get them.
I haven't cleansed them yet.
Yeah, get them in contact with Deodora, and I'm sure we'll get some.
They're called Katie over.
I make a slow turn toward Deodora, and then I take a couple of steps toward. Hold on. Hey, Deodora, what are your pronouns?
She, her.
Thank you. Take a couple of steps toward her. And then, Theodora, this is Blackstone. I thought it would be best that you were the first person to hear this. Oria is awakened and is on her way to this location.
You see, Theodora perks up almost and he's like, is she okay?
So far, she's well. I'm not certain. Guess the full state of her health, but at least she's well enough that she has been released to go here. So I'm pretty sure that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Oria, you are able to regain those 2 spirit points back.
Yay.
Thank you.
You see, Deodora, I mean, your DM described these boxes, but Deodora can't read what's written on them, so she's not interested. She goes kind of just stands by the door and just waits for her.
After I give Deodora a nod, I go, this is a problem, a very big problem. Cal, Sarah, could you come here for a moment?
Of course.
And I direct you to the labels on both of the boxes that I can see.
This is definitely a very odd place for things for the school.
DM, in my experience, because it was Lyros and Astera, which were written on these boxes.
Yes.
In Cal's experience, did someone scrawl the names of the school on the side of these boxes, or does this look like a stamped logo of the school?
Stamped logo.
Oh. Mm-hmm. So more likely that these
to
are
be
boxes.
delivered.
To be delivered to the school or to be delivered from the school?
To be delivered to the school.
Oh, okay.
It looks like they are organized in that fashion.
Right.
Now, at this moment, this is probably conjecture, but I believe that these boxes may have been stolen, and if they are, whatever magic animated that cart, we were able to trace it here, is going to find its way to those 2 schools unless we do something.
Right. Professor Pettyweather would have to be warned, of course. Let's but perhaps we haven't. Cal is.
Oh, right. I forgot to mention to the both of you. Oria is on her way here. The headmaster has reached out to me via, I suppose, sending magic. It's like telepathy, but it doesn't feel quite the same.
Right.
Oh.
In any case, she's aware of our situation and very concerned. I feel like whatever this is very unexpected by her.
Well, that's even more disconcerting.
Did she say what was to be delivered? Does she know about any deliveries?
She said she was expecting something, but not from a place that would be found underground as we are.
Great.
Should we open the boxes?
Oh, it's probably best to find out if there's any magic involved there before we do.
We should probably open the boxes.
Would you allow me to check for magic in these boxes before we start opening? Take me 10 minutes. 10 minutes max.
Can't. Oh, well, I suppose I could stop you.
You certainly could. I'm just asking that you don't.
I won't.
I don't mind.
I know what we could do for 10 minutes, Theodora, if you would like a suggestion.
What?
I believe you have a friend that you'll need to greet soon, and make sure that they find their way here safely.
Yes. Should I? Oh, fuck. Sorry, I just saw the Zoom chat. Theodora is kind of like just like standing like almost in the doorway, just like waiting.
Like you see like Blackstone just looking at Theodora but not saying anything, and then when you ask that question, they just give you a nod.
And we're gonna pan real quick to everyone else would see, not specifically you all, but those watching would see Oria is trying to flap, but also trying to run as quickly as she can. She is left Astera and is heading back to Ilopan. The gates are within sight, and we'll jump back to Blackstone, Theodora, Seraph, and Caldrix.
The traps have been disabled because like we smashed the lock, right? Okay.
Correct.
So I think I will, while Cal is doing his ritual, I'll probably just go up the stairs and like to like the opening, just so like when Oria gets into the area, she'll know exactly like she can maybe see me, and know where to go.
Okay. All right. Cal, what did you want to do?
As Cal will spend the next 10 minutes, he's tracing arcane runes in a circle around his spellbook. He just left his spellbook on the floor open to the page with detect magic, and he is not so much marking them on the floor, but just tracing the runes on the floor with the end of his staff, repeating, Bradriocht, Bradriocht, and after every rune is traced, he will say that again until he makes the circle all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And once he has gotten the circle all the way around, which has taken him about that 10 minutes for the ritual casting, that's when each of the spots where he drew the runes glows. The magical energy will move to the center to where his spellbook is, gather there, and you see that same kind of woven knotwork ribbon effect explode out from it in a big cascade, and will settle upon the magic of the room and will allow Cal to see the outlines of magical items.
Okay.
Or spells or such.
Inside each of the boxes, there's about 10 big boxes that are in this room. They're evenly split between Lyros and Astera. In two of the boxes on either side, one to Astera, one to Lyros. You see that there are a number of wands that have been packaged up within. Same thing. Next box, you see that several books are crammed within this box. Third box, you see that there are several mugs that seem to be magic in some kind of way, but they're both illuminated.
Right.
The fourth box has some kind of clothing that's lit up within it. The final boxes on either side are empty for the moment. You can see that the top is off of it as you're kind of peeking in. It looks like this one hasn't been packaged up just yet.
Right. Okay. So not only does it not detect magic, but we can visually see inside. That's
Correct.
There's
Yep.
nothing in that box. Does any of the magic? I know, like I'm not gonna have you like go through what different schools everything he's picking up, but
Sure.
I know that magic all gives off a different aura depending on what its effects are, what its origins are. And you said that the one from the cart was very different, or it was new to Cal. Is he reading the same kind of aura that he read off the cart over on all of these?
Correct.
There are
It's
magical.
dull, but yes.
Does it feel like there was originally one type of magic and then there was this one on top of it, or does it just seem like the same thing that the cart had?
Seems like with that specific, it looks like it was meant, there was a different kind of magic that was originally on it. And
Got
then
it.
this newer, unfamiliar magic was put on it perhaps later.
Got it.
Based
Like
off
this,
of your innateness to arcane magic, you would have picked that up.
picking up that these are not mundane items that were enchanted, but magical items that were somehow altered.
Correct.
Got it. These are all tools for magic, packed away. These are supplies for the schools, but they've all been corrupted in some way. There's a presence on them I haven't seen before. It doesn't fit any of the schools of magic. These all have different signatures for schools of Arcana, but they've all been twisted. They're all darkened somehow. It's the same thing I felt from the cart.
Then do we need to destroy it?
I don't know if we know how.
Well, then the other thing that we tried to do here is make sure that we could get another sample of this magic and try to identify it, so we know how to help Arya. That was another one of our missions here. Now, probably be taking too much time sitting around for me to cast another ritual and identify any of these, but perhaps we should at least take some functional sample back.
Do we have a way to
Well.
carry it without any of us touching it?
I might be able to be of assistance. And I wave a hand, and a kind of larger superimposed version of my hand appears.
Oh,
Apparently, I forgot about this capability earlier. It probably would have saved me a little bit of a bang up with that door.
well,
I will say, at
at
this
least you know how to do
time,
it now.
each of you here, specifically Deodora, a familiar scent picks up from behind you. As Aurea, you've made your way.
I thought it was the Minotaur sneaking up on us.
I saw the panic and I was like, no, let me just not fake out. No, you smell the familiar safe scent of Aurea behind you. Aurea, you've made your way to the grate. Did you all put the stuff back where it belonged, or did you leave it when...
I didn't put it back.
Okay.
Are you
I know
talking about
Blackstone was the
the
last.
The
The
grate?
grate itself, yeah. I just
Oh
needed
yeah, I
it.
thought.
Okay.
It's
Blackstone
a time
fixed
to repair
Okay,
the
yeah.
so
part
it's
we
been fully repaired. So,
Okay.
so Aurea, you see the grate and you see these steps that are going down about 2 flights, and at the bottom of the stairs, kind of shadowed largely with a little bit of light that's coming from this room, you see Diodora kind of just standing, waiting for you to be there.
Oh, I'm here. And I go and try to open the door, I guess.
The grate has, you kind of have to bend down, and it has 8 bars that are going across, going up and down, rather. Kind of like, almost imagine like a jail cell.
Okay.
That kind of way.
Wait, I thought...
How did you get in there?
That's why I was asking if it had been put back in place.
Oh, we broke it. But go ahead.
And you fixed it? How are you going to get out? Are you all staying down there now, or were you going to come out of there?
I didn't fix it. I don't.
Was this to keep something out or keep you in?
Ask Blackstone that.
Okay, I'll just wait here then.
Well,
shakes it a little bit.
I'll just pull it back off. Oh, well, Sareth helped me. Sareth?
I mean, I could try to help you.
What's up, Diodora?
Oh,
Aurea. You're looking a lot more colorful.
Oh, yes. There's something really bad. Should I keep yelling this, or
no,
is there a way to get in?
We have to break it. That's how we got in before.
Oh.
So.
Wow, this walk seemed a lot longer when we came down.
Right?
I didn't realize this was right here. Anyways.
It always seems longer when the first time you go somewhere or do something.
Yeah.
It's just because it's new. And
anyways, Oh, so we have to re-break the...
Yeah. That's why I was asking if you all had cleaned up after yourselves.
Aurea.
Because I thought you had.
Yes.
I obviously mean no offense by asking this, but as a fairy, are you not able to shrink down smaller?
Well, I'm not really at that level yet. I haven't. I will eventually be able to do that, but I'm not. I haven't graduated that level of training yet.
Okay, I didn't realize that it was a learned thing.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
In my world, it is.
Yes,
that's totally fine.
That is something we've all discovered in this world, that you don't just get to be small. You have to work for it. I might be able to help, and she's gonna like, what's it set into? Like, is it cement?
It's stone. It's stone. Yep.
Oh, stone on stone. That's not.
Stone.
I have Druid Trip as a cantrip. That's not gonna. I can't help that. Or are you just gonna shake on it?
If it's the only way, then we need to just break it again.
Diodora, with that, and you know exactly which bars were a little bit more weaker of the rest, you're able to pull it off. Is Pass Without a Trace still on?
Oh, I forgot about that. It's concentration for like an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Yep, you're able to. It doesn't make as loud of a clang as it did the first time, but you are able to pull off the grate. And Aurea, you would have to kind of bend down to go in because it's a little bit of a tunnel, but once you're in, you're able to stand up. You don't have to crouch or anything like that.
I put the grate back.
Just like, precariously set it back up.
Yeah, and I say, don't tell Blackstone.
We won't say anything. We won't say anything.
And the three of you make your way down the stairs. Aurea, you see the same room that was in the vision that you saw. It's a 15 by 10 room, dimly lit. There's boxes on either side of the walls that are lining it. You would be able to see that it says Astera and Lyros. And in the center of the room, there's looks to be an area that has a set of stairs that are going down further.
As soon as I get in the room with everyone, so I had a weird thing when I was asleep. Are you all chasing the gems things right now?
And
the magic.
As they were going to get Aurea from the Great, I would imagine that both Blackstone and Caldrix were using their respective mage hands to carefully handle these items without touching them.
Sure.
And Cal was doing the same trick that he did with the shards to keep from touching them. He's like lying rolls of parchment out and like rolling up and like tying the ends of a scroll around a wand to make sure he's not making contact with his actual hands.
So Mage Hand is picking it up.
Mage Hand is picking it up.
As
Like
Mage
Christmas.
Hand reaches in to pick up one of the wands. Into the wand. Mage Hand disappears.
And then you loudly hear Deodora say, "Don't tell Blackstone."
But yeah, no, you feel that severance of a connection.
Oh my god.
Does it? Is it just like you know, hearing something on a walkie and then all of a sudden cut to static, or is it more like does it more like feel like Cal got something pulled out of him?
Doesn't feel like anything was pulled out of you.
Okay, good.
It's just that connection that you had. Think of like, remember telephone when you were kids with the can and the string?
Of course, yeah.
And feeling that slight tension. And then when your mom found out that you were staying up late because you were talking into the can, she cut the cord and now there's no tension.
Sure, like we all had that experience growing up. But
Hush.
yes.
Perfectly normal experience. We had friends.
Yeah. So yes, I know, but it was a very good description.
That. Nothing,
gave me exactly the right feel.
Nothing was taken from you in that kind of spec, but your Mage Hand is gone. Blackstone, if you were doing the same thing, Mage Hand is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Cal will try to cast Mage Hand again to make sure that he didn't lose his ability to do it.
Nope, you're able to cast it again.
Oh, well, that's a relief. All right. So, we can't use magic to carry them. We don't want to touch them.
Oh, well, this isn't very hard. And I just unfurl my scarf and I just, like, cover my hands with the material from the scarf and grab a wand.
Okay. You pick up a wand.
Does
Fantastic.
anything happen?
All right, then Cal will again, like he'll
So,
just parchment.
Hey, Cal, if it helps you, it will probably be equally as efficient if you just grab the wands that you intend to wrap with the parchment that you want to use.
Oh, fair enough. Yes, of course. And so Cal will try to grab at least a couple of the wands and wrap them up in parchment like this, and one of the spell books.
Okay.
He will probably pass the mugs and such over, because if there's nothing magically different that
it's the same kind of magic imbued in those mugs.
then we've got I think like 2 wands and a spell book are enough samples, and so after we bind up a couple wands and some spell books, Cal will then make sure they're well wrapped and they're not going to come loose in his bag, but then
If it helps, I have some rope that you can use to tie them all together, if it would help with securing.
Well, fantastic. Yes, of course.
Why don't all of you, since there's been a lot of noise, roll for stealth? Because I'm assuming you're trying to do this quietly. I've been very, very good, but now you all are making a lot of noise. And
we have rolled for that as we were yelling.
Everyone has a plus.
Everyone, I think, except for Ori at this point, has a plus 10.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
So I have a 22 on that stealth roll.
23.
20. Also a 23.
At 18.
19.
Okay. For the moment, everything seems fine. Yeah, you've all have been making a lot of noise because you're opening up crates, and you pulled off the grate. So that's why I was
just
asking.
yelling.
Twice.
Ori was just yelling down the hallway, like was not being stealthy.
Oh, wait.
Brandon, hey everyone, what's going on?
Yep.
Oria,
Yes.
there's just a pair of glowing eyes from behind the smash just looking at you for a moment and going, how did you get through the bars?
I slipped in.
Oh. That is such a useful ability. At some point, I should try to learn that.
Yeah. So we have a bit of a problem. I had a dream while I was under, and I talked to the Lady of the Veil, and she told me that it was stolen. Parts of my spirit. This is stealing parts of spirits to power something.
The Lady of the Veil? What is the Lady of the Veil?
She's in charge of the Veil. She is the one who helps shepherd people between life and death. She's the one most very serve.
Oh.
So she's like your goddess of death.
Yeah, you could say that.
But a not
she
scary
does.
one.
No, she's very nice. Actually, and Aurea is going to like pull out her travel guide and flip through it. And since it's a school function travel guide, she flips like the beginning, and it's like, and this is a depiction of the Lady of the Veil, and it's of the starry and the rainbow hair. And
does she actually look like that?
Yes, she is quite beautiful. We are very colorful, mostly for fairies, but still, the amount of her hair is just marvelous.
Yes. Yes.
So, your spirit got stolen?
Part of it was taken to power something, it seems, and whatever's doing this is not a natural. Nothing should do this. Nothing should be able to separate part of spirit.
It also seems to draw from magic and magical effects. It completely took away my hand.
Here, allow me
You
to
lost your
demonstrate.
hand, and Aurea's gonna grab your arm, and like, what?
Theodora does this. Theodora does the same thing.
Aurea on one hand, Theodora on the other. What? Your hand seems fine.
And he'll go and Libre Drioche and like he'll cast Mage Hand again to show it. No. The magic.
Oh.
It took away my magical hand for a moment.
Oh. Okay.
No, I think you need to
specify.
To explain, and I just make a mage hand. It looks different, but it's the same kind of thing. And I go into one of the boxes, and then I try to pick up a wand, and it holds the wand for like the briefest of moments, and then the entire hand just disappears, and its magic is sucked into the wand.
Is that doesn't seem normal for magic? I don't really know a lot about it, but that doesn't seem good.
Anything that steals a magical essence has never really been considered a good thing.
Oh,
and
no.
They planned on sending both of these to magical schools, and I think that catches us up on everything at this point.
Oh.
Did you find anybody here?
The Minotaur's here somewhere.
There's a Minotaur? Oh, sorry.
The same
she
one.
She yells.
No, the one that we...
They might be at the festival.
Found.
Are they down here, or are they carnivals?
No, it was down here.
The same Minotaur?
I smelled them.
I feel like at this point we might as well just kill them. They just keep showing up. Well, they have to be responsible.
I think there may be multiple people here, and I have a way to find out.
Oh?
We all just stare.
Oh, I think I know where he's going, and I like this use.
So I'm going to say, but first, I think we should go downstairs, see how close we can get to the people that you said you heard before, Seraph.
Yes.
And after that, we can see if my plan will work. Oh, wait. I was about to ask you about resealing these boxes, but mending to reseal the boxes.
Nice. And before we leave the room, Cal will then say, all right, just for one moment, and he'll like try to get like a wide angle on the room from his perspective, wherever he can see the labels on the boxes and like things like that. And then he'll take a second to, make sure he's centered or whatever, and eval, and then you see his eyes glow and dim again. He blinks a couple times. All right, there. I can show someone what I've seen. I can play back what I've seen with that spell. So we'll be able to show the professors some evidence this way. And he's cast Captured Image, which is a homebrew spell for this campaign.
Very
Love
cool.
that.
So we're just leaving these boxes here?
For the time being. Hey, Theodora, we'll put it like this. If the prey never makes it up here to deliver these boxes, their boxes aren't a problem.
Did the professor say when they were expecting a delivery? Because that might give us a timeline.
The professor went into a state of alarm and then said she was just going to, but didn't quite finish the sentence. I hope it includes reaching out to other headmasters in the area or otherwise, especially considering she has Sending Stone. It make long distance communications a lot easier.
Do we have any way to get a hold of her and ask? Currently? No? Anyone?
I don't
Okay.
I don't have, well, unfortunately, I'm not powerful enough to be a headmaster and use that spell yet, but you know something. Maybe I should add that to my list. Out of character note, apparently I'm just going to have this long list of, hey, these things would be useful for, like, communications and stealthing.
I can't wait till we're like 3 more levels up and we're finally as good as Seraph believes we're in. Seraph believes in us so hard. Like, you're all so powerful, you could do stuff, right?
Yeah.
They really
Right.
do.
Like,
I want to be what Seraph believes
Cal
in
and
us.
Blackstone can both talk to people in their minds. Like, they can...
I love Seraph so much.
Wait a minute. Both of us do have familiars. If it is really important that we give the professor a message, perhaps we can send it with one of them.
I mean... I don't know if I can bring Bash back anymore today.
Do you have uses of wild shape left out of game? Because I think you can, as long as you have those.
No, because if it's the same day, I used Bash earlier, and then
That's right.
I wild shaped. So those are my 2.
Got it.
I think we should maybe focus on the problem
Violence?
that's here. And that the dinner downstairs, the Minotaur downstairs.
Right. I believe dinner was the correct word here. Okay, downstairs. And I'm going to try to be as stealthy as possible going downstairs.
I guess we're doing this then.
Cal will, of course,
and-
follow. Yep.
Also, Aurea, stealthing.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check again for me, please.
Does if Aurea comes in while I'm still concentrating on Pass Without a
I'll
Trace, does
allow
she
it.
bet? Okay.
I will allow it,
Oh,
yes.
cool.
So now you're under the effects of Pass Without a Trace, April.
That's a plus 10?
Yes.
Yeah. I just have to say thank you so much for passing on the trace because I actually roll stealth with disadvantage.
Oh no.
Oh, that's right.
That's
You do
true.
chainmail.
So that's a 14. Thanks.
Oh no.
Train like Scooby-Doo and all of a sudden you're
25 total for me.
Okay, so
I'm
we're,
like,
we're rolling new stealth checks.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a new stealth check. The first one was for the boxes you all were opening in the yellow.
Got it.
This is
Yeah.
you all are now descending the stairs.
Okay.
I'm like loudly fussing over Orion, like, I'm glad you're okay. I missed you.
And Aurea's like telling you everything that she saw in the vision in great detail. And like, she did this and this is how I learned how to get here. And she's telling you like everything that happened between them
Yeah.
there.
All descend the stairs.
Dirty 20.
Very fun. Nice. Okay. Every now and then, a little muffled, thanks to Seraph, what does it look like as Pass Without a Trace is upon all of you?
It's little twinkly stars that like surround everyone's feet, and it causes them to not leave footprints, and kind of muffles the sound.
I love that.
Cal rolled a 29 with Pass Without a Trace, so you
Jeez.
guys might
Disgusting.
here.
Just disgusting.
You have a whole Milky Way around your feet, like.
You all descend these stairs. And you see that this is a stairwell that goes on for a while. You're walking. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. After 15 minutes, you finally get to the bottom. There is a hallway that extends forward. And on either side, there are 2 doors to the right. There's one door on the left, and there's a door straight ahead. Blackstone. As you are moving down the stairs, for a moment, especially when you get to the bottom, a voice that you haven't often heard pops into your head. Memory. Decoding. And for a moment, you're descending these stairs. But these stairs aren't here. You're in a different place. You've been to an area like this before. That was brightly lit. There was laughter. Like trying to watch a movie through a little pinpoint. You see flashes of color. And for a moment you see an elven woman with pointed ears, ebony of skin, long black hair that's wild and untamed and beautiful, pinned back. And she ushers for you to move forward. And as you take your next step forward, you find yourselves back in this hallway. All of a sudden, you're basically bumping up into whoever would have been just in front of Blackstone. Memory. Decoded. All of you would have noticed that Blackstone kind of got rigid for a moment.
Well, he was the one leading the party.
Yeah, so probably would have stopped in place for a moment as he lost sight of what was ahead of him for a moment.
We do that cartoon thing where we all run into each other. That's why my stealth check is garbage, because like I run in and just start clanking.
You just hear behind you, motherfucker, as you look at
Did you hear something?
I suppose I did, but not from here. Perhaps we will explore that at a different time. There are a lot of them. This is a lot of trouble for someone to go through.
DM, do I still smell the Minotaur down here?
You do. It's pulling you in the direction of straight ahead.
Okay.
Because you rolled very well when you got that sense, so I'm not going to make you re-roll
Okay. Then I would like to, I guess, tell me what you want me to roll, but I would like to make a roll to check for traps on this door.
Investigation.
Okay. Incoming investigation. That is a 19 on investigation.
19? This door seems perfectly fine.
Okay. Then I take a few steps forward and open the door.
Cal will put a hand on Blackstone before he moves forward. And Blackstone, did you not have a way to see how many people were down here? Where you...
I do, but I'm not sure how far away they are. This does have a range, like most magic does.
I trust you, friend. Onward.
Cal's like stopping me for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, hold on. And I use Mage Hand to open the door.
Okay. You use Mage Hand on the door. Nope, that's it. Opens away from you. And you see a darkened room.
Okay.
Is the light from my because light lasts for how long? It lasts for an hour, so is the light from my staff
still going?
Still illuminating the door, what's past the doorway?
You can see a little past.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
rather large room, so it's hard to see the entirety of it.
Okay, so I want to use detect thoughts.
Okay.
And the way that I want to use it is to just hear the thoughts of living creatures within, like 30 feet of me. So if anyone, or I start sensing thoughts that are different from the people in the party,
For sure.
then other people are here. For everybody else,
Look like as you cast detect thoughts.
what you see is like a couple of sparks near where like my head is, and then about 2 inches above my head, a glowing purple halo appears.
Okay. All right. And how far does it expand?
Like what's the range on it? 30 feet.
It pushes forward. And initially you don't hear anything. Quiet. Kind of reach forward, searching for anything. And it's small. The blip of something. You're not sure what this is. But you hear in your mind a very deep voice. Need more energy. Time is approaching.
What direction do I sense that from?
Forward. God damn it, Finn. Forward and to the right.
Is
You
there
get one
any...
more before anything else.
Okay.
Intruders. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
My time. It is
Ooh,
my time.
ooh, 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 ooh.
Did you get a
Is
nat
that the
20
nat
on
I
the
did get a
dance?
nat 20.
Okay. I hope
like your
Baz,
nat 20 dance.
I hope you know I expect that dance every time you hit a nat 20.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
It'll be some version of that.
Or trademark that dance.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what that was, a nat 20 coming in for a landing.
That was beautiful. All right, so who rolled 20 to 25 besides Sarah?
Okay.
Whoa, there we go. Okay.
Well, not a nat, mind you, not a nat 20, a dirty
Sure.
20. It's just a 20.
Just a 20, okay.
A synthetic
Sarah, what
20.
was your initiative total?
Oh, Sarah, what was mine?
Yes.
21.
Okay. And Blackstone, I'm sorry, can I get that again?
20.
Okay.
And I had a
Aurea.
24.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna say
I
because
got high dex, people. I'm sorry.
that's true, but I'm gonna reward the fact that Seraph got a nat 20 on that. So Seraph will go first, then it will be you, Aurea.
I respect
because of
that. Yeah, no, I respect that completely. Oh,
All right. 15 to 20.
15.
Cal got a 19 there.
All right.
Oh, I'm last.
All right.
I have shit decks.
Well, we'll say you were just very concerned about Aurea, so that was taking up a lot of your action and readiness to get into the battle. As you feel that energy spark off Blackstone, because the spell does diminish, the chamber ahead of you lights up. It's a large room. Blackstone. Large room, about 50 by 50. In the center is a large crystal that's suspended in the air and held by chains. North, south, west, east. There are braziers that are lit up. Theodora, you would notice that Minotaur, as well as his henchman from earlier, as well as there are several Crownsguard in the room. About 3, so you're looking at 5 enemies in total. Sarah, you rolled first, ready to go. What do? Aurea, you are on deck. You rolled above everybody. So
okay. So we all see this. We're at that point.
Everybody sees this. You all are kind of in a line in the doorway, but Sarah, you were the one that was ready to go.
Yep.
Let's go.
And we can assume that this is pretty much gonna be just like the fight with the cart, but on a more massive level.
That's up to what Sarah would believe with this.
Okay. So, Sarah sees this, Sarah will, will see this giant crystal and all of the things and hear and assume that this is the Minotaur they've been talking about, that they get in a fight with and blah, blah, blah. And will just, and we'll just go, all right, everyone, let's do this. And we'll cast a second second level guiding bolt.
Okay. Second level guiding bolt.
On the crystal.
You're going for the crystal. Interesting. Okay. You cast guiding bolt.
And it looks like a shooting star.
A comet shooting star goes shooting towards the crystal. As it does not connect. It deflects just before it hits the crystal.
Oh, that was unexpected.
Is there anything else you want to do? Do you want to use your movement?
Blah, 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 blah. You know what? As a bonus action, we are going to, let's see if I can. Yeah, as a bonus action, Sareth is going to go into their archer starry form.
Okay. You turn into your archer starry form. Ready to go. All right. Sarah, you are done. Aurea, you are up. And then Blackstone, you're on deck.
Aurea sees the crystal, is weirded out by it, but seeing that there's things that she can hit is just beelining straight towards the Minotaur.
Okay.
Is it within 40 feet of us?
which one are you going for? Are you going for the larger one that you remember was getting a little bit more handsy with Blackstone, or are you going for the slightly smaller one?
She believes herself. I'll go for the big one.
Okay, sure. That one is within your movement distance. I did take a quick check before, assuming that you were going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a monk. I do things.
I know you too well. So.
And she's going to... Are my wings working at this point?
You can certainly try.
It feels like a trap.
Part of the cards.
I believe that I was mostly she's gonna run, but it's almost like she's floating, and just first action smack him as she pulls out the collapsible staff.
Go for it.
Attack. That's the quarterstaff. That's a natural one with the D&D Beyond. Don't know why I decided to switch with that.
And shoves it away. Kind of
as soon as he throws it back, she's gonna look and angrily, like in that whole same movement, come in with another punch.
All right.
Unarmed strike. D&D Beyond with the 2 that time. I'm no longer rolling digital dice.
Catch it real quick.
I'm angry. Oh, that was my bonus action. I'm out.
All right.
She's just growling at him. Angry.
Grabs and pushes you slightly backwards with that. Not able to hit. You're still kind of recovering and kind of getting comfortable with how you are. Your wings are kind of flapping furiously behind you, but still not giving you that strength to push. All right. Blackstone, you are up. Then it's the enemies.
Okay, I have seen Sereth walk in and cast a spell. The spell got deflected. I see the enemies on the ground. Do I have any idea what deflected that spell?
Why don't you roll an Arcana check? But keep in mind, you're taking that time to check to see what this is. This will take up your turn.
Okay. That Arcana is a 22.
It is some kind of magical shield. As you are looking at the walls where the chains are kind of holding it in place, there is a gem that is holding. It looks like a normal stone, not like an emerald or one of the gems that you all have been in contact. But it's been imbued with some kind of protective magic that is casting a shield upon the crystal that's in the room.
Okay, so, I'm not, we're not casting spells. That took up that whole action or whatever,
your action. You still have your bonus action if you wanted to do something.
Okay.
I will allow that, so that way you're not using your entire turn checking this out.
Okay, so, for the bonus action, the thing I would like to do is communicate to Sereth what I just saw.
Okay.
Can I get some out of character clarification on the shield?
Sure.
You said is it just centered on the crystal, or is the crystal in the chains that's holding the
crystal is magnified with that shield. The chains you could easily hit. It's just basically when that starbolt went to hit, a circle of shield went around the crystal. It did not touch what was holding the crystal up.
Okay. And how far up is it?
It's about 40 feet in the air.
Okay. Theodore would have known all this magic stuff, but I just wanted to visualize, so thank you.
All good.
Okay. And that will be my turn.
Okay. All right.
You can feel that Sereth acknowledged what you sent. Blackstone.
Okay.
The large minotaur, which has pushed Aurea back, reaches behind him and pulls out this rod, and he snaps it, swinging it down, and the blade pops out into an axe. He's going to go ahead and make an attack against Aurea. She is right there. And as he attacks, he is going into a rage.
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
I would like him to miss.
I would also, I would appreciate it if he missed.
I'm going to show this. It is a natural 20.
Cool.
Natural.
I love that. That definitely hits me. That I can't do anything about that.
Oria, you just got here.
Goodbye.
Okay, that's going to be 20 points of damage.
Every episode, we're just going to have Deodora
aims for your shoulder, seeing that you are more of a movement type. He cuts into where your shoulder blade is on your right side and curves down, and you just feel it cut across you. The rest of you see this silver blood kind of burst forth from Oria as she gets hit. He's gonna then use his other action to bump you back. We'll see if we can do that. It's basically an unarmed, because he's just using his shoulder to bump you back. That doesn't hit. That's an 8. So he tries to bump you back, and you're kind of just staggering back from that hit. As the other enemies prepare for an attack, one looks like it's focusing on Seraph. The Crown's Guard look like they are focusing in on Deodora, Caldrix, and Blackstone. And as they leap into action, that is where we're going to end for today.
Oh, that's so mean.
Worst.
That's so mean.
You're the worst.
Basically,
Wow.
the screen splits in half with the party taking up positions of defense and the the enemy taking positions of attack.
It's
This
so
is such an
fucking
anime.
anime.
Yeah,
Shut
anime
up,
ending.
April.
The slow, sad music plays, or you're just like, cough of blood.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I was looking at the time. We're getting close to the end anyways, and April and I have a panel after this with Duval. So as much as this would totally be an instance where we would go over time, we do have a panel. So that's why I'm trying to be cognizant of. Plus,
We love you for it.
I appreciate your time. Finn, I see your question. Why don't you message me that in Discord so I have a couple days to mull it over about how that would necessarily play that out.
I certainly will, because I feel like the Dungeon Master's Guide says yes, but this is a weird world.
This is a very strange thing that's happening. Wow, y'all. I think
I will air my
learned a lot.
grievances in the Discord.
Whatever I've done to you, Jordan, I'm so sorry. I love you.
Listen, you're the one that leaped into action on the big boy who's ready to go. So
Well,
It's
if
my
it
own-
wasn't
my own arrogance.
if Oria didn't do it, Theodora was gonna do
Right.
it. It's
No.
just
Arrogance.
one brain cell between the two of us.
I
so.
been
love
very
and
for you.
appreciate it, but he was also anticipating that. So it's also this
Love
dice
it.
is from Goblin Katie and it typically does roll well. So
Wow. Somebody get over to Jordan's house and steal that.
On my
I'll
way.
be there in 5.
But anyways, thank you all so much for hanging out today. A couple quick reminders. You can enter !Sephi, !Simon to help out 2 incredible individuals that are trying to take the next step in their journeys. And be happier because they're amazing. So please consider checking that out. There's also, I know, Fair, thank you so much for posting that earlier. There is the link too, because Nibbles and Dice, he's so cool, but his AC is fucked up. So if you want to go and help him out, that's very much appreciated. As well as if you enter !TTRP GIFs, our own RoboGoblin is trying to raise some funds for an all POC 13 different casts for the Radiant Citadel adventures.
It's so cool.
The first 3 adventures have been funded, which is amazing. I would love to see that continue. Because we know
Who
we
knows?
take care
You
of our
may see
people.
some familiar faces.
Yes.
in that game.
But
Some
when
of
you
us might know
see-
some stuff, and what Robo has planned is so cool.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's dope.
I can't wait. I'm super excited. But as we know, since we're paying our cast here, we want to support everybody that is doing the good work, especially Robo. Robo does so much for the community. So that's gonna be it for today, y'all. if you missed it, the rebroadcast is going to be on Monday night. And then the episode will be up on YouTube on Thursday. But thank you all so much. It was an incredible day. You'll see some of us over on Gehenna Gaming very shortly. But from all of us here, take care of yourselves. Get some rest. And we'll see you next time, Beyond the Veil. Bye, everybody.